Steph Weaves Tales presents Paxwood, The Haunting of Paxwood House, a paranormal fantasy web serial written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. Episode 35. Meanwhile, A Dance in Dream. A live string quartet played in upbeat waltz time as dancers swirled across the dance floor, Char among them. Each dancer had a partner. Although they changed with almost every song, it kept her on her feet, moving, but also mentally off balance. For one thing, all Char's dance partners wore masks that concealed who they were. Even the parts of their faces that she could see were blurry somehow. Not blurry like an unfocused image, but more like her memory itself was the part that was blurry. She was sure they were unfocused when she looked at them directly, but if she looked away, even for a second, she forgot any concrete details. For another, Char didn't know how she'd gotten here, in this dance, and no one would let her go. Every time a song ended, she hoped beyond hope that she would be freed from this dance and allowed to go home. To her friends and family, to faces she actually remembered. But another song began, one after the next. Quadrilles, waltzes, social dances that kept her moving, never stopping, always in a whirl. Worst of all, she was very sure that she'd broken her arm, but it was whole again somehow. Had she been at this dance so long that her arm had healed? And, if she had, why hadn't anyone come to save her? A woman stepped up as Char's next partner, dressed in jeans and a plain pastel blue t-shirt. Nothing extravagant. Completely out of place. She had brown hair and a soft, youthful face. The tightness of her lips and the furrow of her brow didn't suit such a kind face. She was probably somewhere in her 20s. As she sent Char into a whirl, she whispered below the music, "Are you Charlotte Musso?" No one had spoken to her in far too long. "Char, you can call me Clara. I can't stay long, but your friend Kerry is coming for you. If anyone but Kerry calls your name, if anyone tries to take you from this crowd, whatever you do, stay in the dance until Kerry takes you out of it." "How do you know me? Kerry, what's going on?" Char held more tightly to Clara, this first person to address her by name. "I'm lost." "You are lost, yes," Clara said. "A spirit possessed you and kept you in this dance to distract you as it drove your body. Do you remember?" Char closed her eyes and tried to remember. What was the last thing before this place? The necklace. When I put it on and looked in the mirror, I saw not my face, and she asked me to dance. Char's eyes shot open. She looked around the crowd, but none of them looked like the face in the mirror. A necklace enchanted to carry a spirit can be a snare, yes. Clara glanced over her shoulder. "There's so much going on this night, Miss Musso. When Kerry comes, tell her that Bast sensed her saving someone else who was trapped in Dream, and he's trusting her to save you too. He'll manage everyone else sleeping in Paxwood." "How can Kerry save me from being possessed by a ghost?" Char asked. Clara's answers were only half the explanation that Char needed. "Who's Bast?" "The ghost has brought you into her domain, both physically into the house and unconsciously into the intersection of dream and death, where ghosts haunt most powerfully. While you were alone in your mind, it would have taken an exorcist to reach you. But the ghost who possessed you is no longer holding you down from the inside. She's had to let you go, because she intends to make room for another to take her place. In her absence, you're somewhere where your friends can reach you if they wake you up in time." Clara sighed. "I can see you only have more questions with every answer that I give you. I don't have time to explain the entirety of incorporeal existence or the magic at work." Even if it wasn't her physical body, Char's heart raced in her chest. "I just don't understand." "When your friends wake you up, you will have all the time you need to make sense of all of this," Clara said. "Bast needs my help. The town needs my help. Trust that Kerry is coming for you. Although the ghost drew you into this dance to hold you down against your will, now the crowd can shield you. I've added a spark of fancy to it to keep you safe in here. If nothing else makes sense, please understand your life depends on staying hidden in the dance until your friends arrive." With that, Clara was gone, and another blurry-faced dancer stepped into her place, leaving Char alone with hundreds of questions about these concepts that she didn't understand. But she knew one thing. When Kerry put her mind to a task, it happened. As strange and impossible as this whole situation seemed, Char could count on Kerry. She took a steadying breath and kept dancing with her new partner. There was a slight difference now. Though she still couldn't recall any of the dancers' faces when she looked away from them, it felt less like the result of a haunting nightmare and more like the way dreams faded as she woke up, safe in bed. Somewhere outside the circle of dancers, a voice chimed out. "Presenting Charlotte Musso." It was like she was being called to the front of the line, or she was entering a grand ball and being introduced to the prince. If Clara hadn't told her to stay dancing, it would only be natural to break away from her faceless partner and head toward the voice. But that wasn't Kerry. In fact, "Charlotte Musso," the voice repeated. It sounded an awful lot like the voice that belonged to the face in the mirror. It had to be the ghost that had possessed her and trapped her in this whirling dance. Instead of breaking away from her dance partner, she straightened her posture and matched the rhythm of the music. She had to hold on until Kerry could arrive. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Paxwood, Book 1, The Haunting of Paxwood House, is written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. That's me. Theme music composed by Human Nature. Visit paxwoodtales.com to read the story as it unfolds. Want to read over my shoulder while I write what's next? Catch me live on Twitch for laid-back virtual write-ins and crafting. If you like the story and you want more, like, review, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling particularly entangled, buy me a skein of yarn on Coffee. Kerry's paranormal tip of the day. If you find yourself possessed by a ghost or demon and you don't have anyone on their way to rescue you like Char did, bide your time and maintain awareness. The more knowledge you gain about the situation, the more likely it becomes that you'll find the key to sending the undesired incorporeal guest on their way.